Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this weekly market forecast. My name is Yemi Olale. I'm a market analyst at FX Pro, and this week covering from Monday 2nd to 6th, 2026. Let's see what we have. Starting from the fundamental outlook. On Monday 2nd, we have just two impact news coming up on US dollar and AUD, which is the ISM manufacturing PMI and RBA governor block speaking on March 2nd. On Tuesday, which is the 3rd of March, we have JPY and Great Britain pounds coming up with our impact news. BOJ and that's Governor Ueda will be speaking. An annual budget release for Great Britain pounds is coming up 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time. On Wednesday, we have the 1:30 a.m. AUD, which is focusing on GDP quarter by quarter, and also US dollar coming up 2:15 and 4 p.m. consecutively as ADP non-farm employment change and ISM services PMI. On Thursday, 5th of March, we have the US dollar coming up on the unemployment claims, and that also have impacts to be seen in the market. On Friday, which is the last trading day of the week, we have our impact news coming up 5 times on US dollar from average hourly earnings to unemployment rates being released on that day. And these are the highlight of the week. Let's focus on what we can do with this information going forward. Quickly, without further ado, let's go straight into what we have on the technical part and let's see how that can impact our trading for the week. All right. So, by the way, last week was a fantastic one. We had a beautiful opportunity in the market. We made about 1,600 pips over the analyzed pairs for last week. But for this week, let's see what we can in the markets. So starting from the DXY as usual, we go to the weekly time frame perspective and see what's going on. Right here, we've seen the price actually, it's hit back for a bearish momentum last week at the beginning, and it ended as a doji candle. But when we look at this on the monthly time frame perspective, we are actually in a demand zone. And if we're in a demand zone on the monthly time frame, it means we should be looking for more buy. On the weekly, this is what we are seeing, more of a push, and we're expecting the price to stay hit higher to at least this price level at above 99. And also, when you go to the daily time frame perspective, look at what we have. The entire last week, we had more of a range right there. And this is where I'm expecting the price to get to at 98.77 around that zone. So if I go to the 4-hour time frame perspective, you will see what I'm doing. I actually boxed out the entire last week range, which is here. So I'm taking it out now. I want to see the momentum actually being a bullish one going forward for this week overall on the DXY to the price it's here. So that will be my projection going forward for DXY for this week. So this is the monthly demand zone, and we can see so far so well it's creating higher highs and higher lows, and that is also sustained. So with that information, therefore, let's go forward and see how we can sell off the Euro US dollar and Great Britain pound US dollar for the week. On the Euro USD perspective, look at what we have on the weekly time frame. For last week, we have the price actually hitting a buy momentum, as you can see right here. It was more of a buy last week. So what we should be expecting for this week, let's go to the daily time frame perspective, because at some point we need to check out what this looks like. Yes, this is the daily time frame perspective. We saw how the market has been bearish for the entire time, and all of a sudden we add that reversal right here. And what caused it, I'm going to show that on the lower time frame, and how we get to where we have been ranging for the past couple of days now. Well, for almost a week, we ranged all through last week there. But let's see what we have on the 4-hour time frame perspective. On the 4 hours, it is very simple. Look at what we have here. This was the demand zone at some point, and we tapped into that level here, and we bought off to this zone. But what we're looking at right now, are we still going to see an opportunity to sell off, or we're going to see an opportunity to buy off? More likely, we're seeing the price actually hitting for this level consecutively. So if we want to check that really, we might actually be seeing more of a buy going. Yeah, especially when the price actually breaks out this high. So what I have there, I'm going to restructure that. I'm going to reframe it. What I have here, if the price actually have to break above this level, that means we might be having a little bit of buying above this range before we actually have a sell momentum. Let's see how that will sound when we go to a 1-hour time frame perspective to show a concept which is very simple, which is very common. As you can see right here, we have all of this price level eating back the price, meaning like we have a resistance zone right here, and it will only be meaningful when we see the price actually breaking above it, creating higher highs and higher lows before we have more momentum. Ideally, this week may be tricky a little bit, but let's wait for the opening of the market to see exactly what we should be doing going forward. Based on what we have on DXY, we should be expecting more buy, and that means on Euro US dollar overall, we should be expecting more sell. But I would love to see, let's decide if you're taking out based on what we have here. This rebound is small and it's more of a range, so it's more like we have bulls in charge of the market, and let's see how this is going to play out. But overall, on 4-hour time frame, we have a solid bearish bearish momentum, lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. So right here, we might just having something like this before we break below. And that being said, it means we can have the price settling to a price level like this in the nearest future. So that's also, we can take it away from what we're looking at. So that is that on the Euro US dollar. I just want to, sorry, I have to reshare this. I have to reposition it rather, so we can have something clearer. So I don't want that rough thing. Okay, so this level we are done with it because that's where we have to take this advantage for this buy. So after we took the buy, it has really moved, but let's see how it goes forward. But then that is that on the Euro USD. Let's see what we have on the Great Britain pounds US dollar. On the weekly time frame perspective, on the Great Britain pounds USD, we are in between opportunities, as you can see. On a weekly time frame, we've seen rejection right here, and we've seen the price actually moving downward and we have a fantastic bearish momentum. I'm going to take out all of this so you can see. Yeah, you see, we have a bearish momentum going downward, but then we have something that is interesting on the lower time frame perspective too that we need to check, and that is on the daily time frame. If you see the daily time frame, you will see that we are in between opportunities, right? And that means at this price level here, we're looking for a sell at there, and also at this price level, we're looking for a buy. This is this is on daily time frame. So we are stuck in between opportunities here. As you can see, we are in the equilibrium level. And what does that mean? We are in between buy and sell momentum. Okay. So that means we can actually find the price hitting this level right here. And we can also find the price hitting this level right here. If the price is hitting here, that means we'll be selling off from this price level. But if the price is hitting here, that means we'll be buying off from this price level. So this is a tricky one for the week. We don't know how the market will move. And this is a daily time frame, by the way. But to make it clearer, let's go to the 4-hour time frame perspective and see. These two levels, I give them out last week for a sell momentum, and both of them worked out. This actually gave its own earliest on Monday, and this later on in the week around Wednesday, it gave our sell momentum, which gave about how many pips in total? About 130 pips in total. So basically, this has done well for us for the week, but currently we are stuck in between these two positions. We're looking for a buy if the price gets here. We look for a sell if the price gets here. It now depends on how the price reacts with this entire zone, with this entire range we have in here. Just like the Euro US dollar, if the price is able to break below here and clear a structure with a lower highs and lower lows, then we can confidently be looking for more sell till the price gets into this range. Otherwise, if we see the price breaking above here, then that gives us a sell moment, a buy momentum. So that is that around this concept going forward. That is what we have. Is a tricky one for the week, but let's see what we can do with this information. On the AUD US dollar, I really have nothing much on this guy. I'll just go straight to the weekly time frame perspective. I'll show you my thought. On the weekly time frame, look at this entire zone here. This is the weekly zone that I'm expecting a buy to happen from. So which means expecting the market to sell for about 400 pips on average to get in there. On the daily time frame perspective, it's the same because we have extended long buy momentum. And when you look at that, it's too much of a range. Like we have extensive pull off of that zone, and right now we've seen the price actually rejecting this price level on the daily time frame perspective. Going to 4 hours, you're going to realize that actually the market has been repeating the same cycle, hitting this level, reversing, going back in there, reversing, and currently it's still back there. And what I had for last week was to see the price get here before it sell. It did that a little bit, but not much. So I'm taking out this entire zone. I'm taking out this entire zone. What I would rather be waiting for is to see the price actually coming into this weekly demand zone. If the price is able to do that, then that means we're expecting a sell from the area wherever the price is right now. That means we're expecting a sell from here till the price gets here. That's basically what that means. But let's keep the story simple. We just want to buy from the daily, we just want to buy from the weekly demand zone. That being said, that is all I'm looking for on the AUDUSD. I'm not taking a buy or a sell from where it is right now, or I'm not taking a buy from where it is right now. If I will be trading this, I'd rather be looking for a sell momentum on this, either wait for a break of this previous trend line that I have here, and let's see how the market reacts with that level. If the price is able to break below here, that gives me opportunity to do what? To sell off from there. So rather I'll be selling off till the price gets in here. This would be the first reaction zone for me, whereby I will be waiting for a buy, and after a brief buy from here, I will expect more sell into this lower zone. So that would be the thing for me for this week going forward. All right, that is AUD US dollar. Let's quickly go to the next guy. NZDUSD also did fantastic job at the beginning of this of last week, because the projection was to see break below here, price back to this higher level, and then sell off again. I think all of this price level, this was last week, okay, and it did. So it first moved to this price level here, he sold a little, he went back there, and back and forth, back and forth. So to clear the story, we are expecting more sell momentum right here too, because the zone is still valid. The price reaction is doing its thing. It's taking more time, and we can't say it's more because that's what the price has to do. We can't give the time it will take for the price to move, but definitely it's coming to where we're expecting overall. And if it's not, secure your position with your stop loss, so you cannot lose out entire money over these trades. So far, so well. On the NZDUSD, we have extensive buy too, and this zone right here is the level I'm looking out for a buy momentum. So I'm waiting for the price to get in here. From the current price to where I'm expecting, it's about how many pips in total? That's over 256 pips in total. So I will be waiting to see the price actually hitting this level for a buy in the future. But on the 4-hour time frame perspective, do I have an earliest zone? Yes, I have one, which is not really too fantastic, but I have one. I can't deny the fact I have one. This is it right here. So which means at the very beginning of this energy, I want to see a buy that we create something like this and we smash down again and get here before we have a buy. So basically, this is what I'll be anticipating to see on the NZD US dollar. So going forward for the week, it is more of a sell opportunity on the NZD US dollar for me, and this is my projection going forward. All right, so I'd rather keep this and I wait and see how the market reacts to this zone. All right, on the USD card, if you check what we have on the weekly time frame perspective, it's quite simple because we have a buy momentum, which I've talked about for a long time now. So I'm taking out all of these plenty drawings and look at this. We're looking at a range over 4 weeks range, right? But I'm looking for more buy momentum till the price gets here on the weekly. So my weekly zone still remains here. I don't know how this level removed, but then if we go to the daily time frame perspective, look at what we have. This is it here. This is our weekly. These are 4-hour time frame. And what I'm expecting to see was a bit of buying momentum into the price level like this before we have a sell. And from there, we can actually still find more buy into this zone, depending on what the price is saying or what DXY is showing. So with that information, daily time frame perspective, I'm still expecting more bullish momentum going forward. But on the 4-hour time frame, what exactly are we seeing? We're looking at how the price will be a premium level here, which we have a supply. And that is my projection with this one I have here. So I'm expecting more buy here, but the price has actually shifted for this last week. It shifted a lot that we have the price sitting right down at this price level of 1.3625 thereabout. And with that information, what are we going to do? I can only be waiting. For me personally, I am not going to take any other thing than to see how the market will give me a sell momentum. Peradventure, if I have a low like this week taken out in the market at the beginning of the week, whereby the price actually just jumped down into this price level and give that buy, I'll also be glad to see the price reacting that way because I'm waiting for more buy actually on this pair. So for me, I'll not be taking more of a thing than to expect more bullish momentum. If there's anything I'll be doing on USD card, I'd rather be taking a buy for high time opportunity. So this is my projection for this week on USD card. Going forward, let's see what we have again. I'm taking this out. I don't need it. I'm taking this out too. I don't need it. And of course, I'm taking this out. Anything I don't need, I'm taking it out on the chart. Okay. So this is what I have for you. All right. A bit of sell momentum. In fact, we can have it buying immediately, but I want to see a bit of sell momentum for where the price is. Then we can have that momentum buying. And if the price is not working that way, no problem. We see on Monday, we see on Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday as well. So we talk about these things. And let's go to the USDJPY. If you check out what we have on USDJPY on the weekly time frame perspective, you've seen how the market has reacted to this high price level rejected and it's sold off. And we see a bullish momentum now coming back and gunning for this range. And when you go to the daily time frame perspective, we have something a little bit different. We've seen how the market has moved for just 5 days. All this momentum grabbed into a premium, into a discounted price level over 560 pips. And we've seen a buy momentum right there. And last week we projected it was going to move this way and it moved exactly that way. Last week, this gave over 300 pips back and forth, right? And then just to look at this from a simple perspective, we have a momentum here around this price level. We want to see the price get there before we have a sell. And that is on the daily time frame perspective. If you go to a 4-hour time frame, it's looking just like that. I don't have to repeat all of these things again because if you're watching this for the very first time, like, share, and comment. And this is exactly what it looks like. I project the market ahead of time and I wait and see how the market will move. Patience is one of my greatest tools. I'm not always eager. I'm never eager to see the price moving. I just want to see the market doing what it has to do and for me to align my position with that. So that is what keeps me in the market. So also learn that to keep your own balance too. It helps your sanity as a trader. So for me, yeah, this is what I will be expecting. This is what I'll be doing in the market, expecting the price to actually still continue buying into this range. And whenever it gets in here, I'll be looking for more sell momentum. It could be brief, it could be long. It depends on how the market gets there. But for me, for the week, I will be looking for that momentum. momentum. So which means we can actually have the price creating something like this, a momentum like this for this one before it starts selling. But if that should be the case, it is fine. Nothing is wrong with that. Absolutely okay. And that is for me on USDJPY going forward for the week. USDCHF, not really much I want to say about this guy. How to see a buy momentum till the price gets here. So all I have to do is to extend. I don't want to say much about this, okay? Because I've talked about it already too. If you're seeing this for the very first time, USDCHF is also moving like the USD JPY, but not the same time or not the same way, absolutely. But let's see how this move. Look at what we said about this last week, and already we have the price hitting this level. As you can see, this is a zone where we'll also be expecting the market to get into before we have a buy. And currently, the price was closer to that. And let's see how the price reacts. If we have something like this in the market, where the market creates something like this, it bit of low and then it continue well, it can get all it wants attention, it can get all the attention it wants into this level. So that means we can be seeing the price getting here, and from there we have our momentum. So USDCHF, this is my projection on it for the week going forward. And from here we want to see a sell, right? Yes, that is it. Okay, that is good. On USDCHF, USDJPY, I gave a projection last week. On point of interest, I gave two. And you see the first one reacted just like I projected right here, but not as long sell as I projected. But second projection was to see the price gets in here and sell a little bit more, then we have more buy. And so far, price has done that. It sold most of the last week and sold about 232 pips at the second point of interest. And with this information, it means anytime from now, we can be expecting more buy, and you're seeing the buy already. So let's see how the market actually reacts with this entire zone. And from there, we're going to determine what we will be doing on this one going forward. That is Great Britain pounds JPY for the week. I'm not really interested in this guy for this week. I want to see how the price will play out so we don't get caught in between. And that is that on Great Britain pounds JPY. Great Britain pounds AUD, I'll be leaving this. I skip it. Great Britain pounds CAD, I'm skipping it. And also gold. Okay, I won't skip gold then. Gold is still a very massive bullish momentum on the weekly time frame perspective. As you can see, price is sitting right on 5,279.12, and that means we're still much in a buy momentum. If you're looking for if you're looking for a long time perspective, a long time position to hold on gold, you should be looking for a buy. All right, based on your own research, based on what you've seen, based on data, based on fundamentals, that is what is suggested. Do your research and consider what you want to do with that information. But on the daily time frame perspective, I'm looking for more buy here because of the projection I've had. If I will be looking for a trend line to follow, then the trend line I've had here over 3 weeks is still working perfectly and it's still doing massive momentum. If you go to 4-hour time frame perspective, you see where the trend line has really worked and helped. For the past 2 weeks now, we've seen the price reacting off that trend line zone. So I will reposition it today. I will do something like this for it to have a space to work with going forward for the week. And right here, you can see I'll take out this one. Also, I'll take out this one. They have done their job. This is what I'm expecting the price of gold to get into since 2 weeks now, and price has not gotten there. It has about 156 pips on average to get in there going forward for the week. But before then, what should we be expecting on gold? Should we expect, since we have a high that was taken out right here, if you check it out quietly, price did it. And what should we be expecting? Right there, we have a low structure, which we also have a range that followed the sequence, right? So with this information, what are you expecting? Well, I will be expecting the price to sell a little bit before I see a buy. How do I do that? Go to a 1-hour time frame perspective and see forward what that looks like. On the 1-hour time frame perspective, look at what we have here. Look at the entire range we have. Higher highs and higher lows created. Price is far away from them, and rejection followed, rejection followed, rejection followed. Over the previous high we had an extensive push out of that range, which made this level a valid demand zone. And that being said, I would just be waiting to see how the price will come back into this range and give me a fantastic buy opportunity. Why is it essential? It is above the trend line. It's also above the previous low level structure. That means we are still much in a buy momentum. So going forward, I want to see the price of gold sell down into this range. If it does, then this will be a good spot for you to buy from. This will be a good spot to buy from. So we can refine this further on a lower time frame, depending on the time frame you're trading. But within this zone, most preferred price level will be, most preferred price level will be around that 5,100, I guess. So going forward, that would be my projection for good for this week. And let's trade with proper risk management. Good to the lower time frame. Okay, that is that. Going to the BTC US dollar. Last week we had a spontaneous movement on this guy, but more of a range as well. We had a momentum for a buy, which after clearing the stop loss level on the previous week, we have 5 days of last week. Okay, I think this was on Tuesday. Cleared the stop loss on Tuesday, and we have the rest of the week moving, ranging in the market, showing a bit of bullish momentum. Like I said, my projection on this remains the same. I'm looking for more buy on this one. This is BTC US dollar. Nothing more I can say about that. I'm just looking for a buy. So the rest of the data on smaller time frame is more of too much data. I don't need it necessary. I don't need it. So let's see what we have on silver, because we talked about silver last week. We gave a buy projection, and this current one, I will be telling you again that we should be looking for more buy on silver, because right here we are having a very massive bullish momentum going forward. And with that information, therefore, if we have an opportunity to see the price hitting back at this level, right? Oh, sorry. Let's see. No, I want to take this out. No worry. So if we have the price hitting back at this level going forward for the week, you see it's also above the projection, right? Above the trend line. So with this now, we can actually still go in and buy all we want on the silver. So silver for this week is a buy momentum for me too. We might have an earliest movement of a sell into this range before the market eventually buy. But then this is what I'll be looking for on silver going forward. All right, that's that on that. On S&P 500, let's talk about it. I think I gave out an outlook on it last week. Fantastic. Look at my projection last week. I said the price is coming in here before it starts selling. And price did. It came there and it started selling off, and it has done over 142 pips from there. So going forward for the week, what are we expecting? It's very simple. If you put your trend line just around that price level right here, you will see that the trend has been messing around. Well, the price has been messing around the trend line already. So with this information, I will be looking for more buy momentum and more sell momentum on the S&P 500. So worst case scenario, see price moving back in here, break this level from here, take your next structure for your sell, and your target will be at this price low, which is also a very good one for the week. And this is it right here, and seeing the price moving this way. And of course, yes, this is a demand, this is a premium zone, which you can also wait for to see the price eating. So I'm taking this off, but don't forget, no, let me leave it. Don't forget, this is where we started the sale from. So it's easier for your reference that way. Okay, going forward for the week, this is my projection on silver. Congratulations to those that took the trade last week. And then that is that. Wheaty, nobody talked about it, so I'm not interested. Okay, Wheaty, I'm not sure. Nobody talked about it. Nobody did. Nobody did. I analyzed it for itself. All right. It has not gotten into that price level. Until it gets here, I'm not really interested in taking a buy from where it is right now. So I'd rather wait to see good what's the name? I'd rather wait for crude oil to crash rather when crude oil crash to this price level. I'll be looking for buy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This is where I'll be stopping for this week. I wish you a fantastic week ahead of you. If you are in the city of Port Harcourt, I will be coming live for a seminar. Let's meet and let's talk. If you have seen this, comment, share, like this post, and share with others so I can do more. This is what I can do to help the community to grow as a trader and to also help you to minimize losses as you journey in the trade. Thank you very much for watching and enjoy the rest of the weekend. See you again during the week and have a fantastic week ahead of you. Bye for now.